Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I'm bringing you a video showing you, this is going to be kind of a slowed down version on how to reload using the classically pistol reloader. And we're going to be reloading 9mm today. And I'm going to kind of give you a brief rundown on what the kit comes with. And I got this kit on eBay for $30. So right off the bat, you'll see right here we've got a I guess they call this the bullet seeder, and it's also the priming chamber. So that's what that is. This right here is the your case resizing device. This will resize your brass. When you shoot your brass, it will expand, and that does need to be brought back down to the proper size. This right here is the decapping chamber. You will use this to decap your brass. This is the priming rod. You'll use this to prime and actually remove your shell casings from the sizing tool. And this right here is your decapping rod. And of course right here is your powder scoop. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. And we're going to start off with just a 9mm spent brass casing. Let's get one that has not been deprimed yet. Okay, here we've got one right here, and the first thing you want to do is inspect the brass. You want to make sure, like a lot of times at the ranges, they'll get stepped on, and if they're not circular, or if they've got a bent edge, you don't want to use that brass. Just throw it away. But this one appears to be in pretty good condition, so we're going to go ahead and put this in our decapping chamber. We're going to use our decapping rod, and I've got a rubber / plastic mallet right here, and you just want to put this right in here and give it a few whacks. That'll remove your spent primer. Go ahead and throw away your primer. Make sure your priming pocket is clean. I'm definitely not using the right tool. I'm using the actual decapping rod. And you just want to make sure that that hole is cleared up and can allow that propellant from the primer to exit properly. And what I like to do next is actually go ahead and resize the case. And I'm going to add just a little bit of lube to this case right here. Got a little too much on there, but that's okay. Lube it up. You're going to use the flat edge of this case sizing tool. Put that in there. Get your hammer. Tap it into place. And right here you get your decapping chamber right here. You want to turn this over just like that. And you'll actually use your decapping rod to basically pry that shell casing out of this sizing tool. So give it a few hits. Should pop right out. And your brass has now been resized and pretty much ready to go for the bullet for the most part. Now what I like to do, like I said, I don't use this for the actual priming thing. I've purchased a Lee XR hand loading tool, and this thing works fantastic. Cannot recommend this enough if you don't have a full-fledged turret reloading press. So we're going to go ahead and put this in here. We're going to go ahead and get this thing primed up and good to go. And I do have safety glasses right here. Make sure you put those on, because this thing could ignite on you, and that's not good for anybody. Alright, visually and physically check the primer. Make sure it is seated properly, which it has. Okay, and the next step in doing this is I like to go ahead and trim down the case. And this is definitely necessary. If you don't trim down the case, your bullets are going to go in there sideways. You're just going to have all kinds of problems. So you can actually buy a case trimming tool, or as you see right here, I'm just using a pair of scissors. And you want to make sure you do a very consistent cut on this inside of this edge right here. You want to make sure you get it evenly distributed. I like to do several passes, and I try to do one complete pass per turn. Make sure we get a even trimming on this inside of this case. Okay, and you want to make sure you get all the brass shavings out, and a lot of times some brass will actually drop down into that chamber. I like to give it a few taps and visually inspect it to make sure that there is no brass shavings inside the case. Okay, so as far as prepping the case, that's all we have pretty much to do that. The next step you want to do is get your scale out. And for this video, I'm using my digital scale. And I am using Unique gunpowder, as you can see right there. And of course, you will need to check online or consult your favorite reloading manual to get the proper powder measurements. As you can see right here, I've got a pretty cool little scoop slash funnel pan combination. I got this for $5 off cheaper than dirt. If you're reloading using a digital scale, this is definitely a heavy-duty time saver. So something to consider right there, and I'll show you how that works here in just a second. So we're going to add our gunpowder out. We're going to load up with the specified gunpowder measurement. And also, if you've got a powder trickler, that can definitely make this process a little less tedious. As you can see, it didn't really take me a whole lot of time to get the optimal amount, but it can definitely save you time if you do have a powder trickler. Okay, so we've got all the gunpowder in there. We're going to put this back in our decapping chamber, because again, that will serve as also your shell holder as well when we're actually priming the bullet. Okay, so the case has been primed, it has been trimmed, and has been resized. And the same tool that we use to actually resize the case, we're actually going to use the same tool to seat the bullet. So we're just going to physically set this over the top of the shell casing right here. And whatever bullet you're using, you just want to drop that right down in here. And you want to get a good grip on this. Make sure this thing is on there really tight. And actually, one thing I want to discuss right here, a lot of people will have problems with this, including me. I had problems with this, was getting the depth set correctly. And unfortunately, this is simply trial and error. I've got a box of Federal ammunition, and what I did was I got my caliper, measured that, and I used that as a guide to basically get the seating depth for my reloads. And like I said, you really have to do trial and error. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you get the length as short as possible, and slowly bring this length down until you reach the optimal length. So with that said, let's go ahead and seat the bullet. We're going to set this on here, just like that. And I like to really choke down on my hammer. I try to not, you know, you don't want to hit it like this. You want to choke down on it. It doesn't take a whole lot of pressure to get this bullet seated. And you want to hit that right on top. Give it a few whacks. You should feel it seat. And there you go, guys. That's a reloaded 9mm round ready to go. Thank you, guys. Be careful. Be safe. Double, triple check everything before you get out there and start reloading.